Alright guys, so we are here on our next video for there's a bin right there, so it was being
now bear left to stay on Cord Terra Circle.
overcautious for that. And this is
In
our
500 feet, turn left to stay on Cord Terra Circle.
probably the second video. No stop on bumps, no slow down on bumps either. And we'll be traveling
Now turn left to stay on Cord Terra Circle.
through the highway or freeway in this video, and we'll notice how that works out. This is kind of the office hours, but again, today is like a Christmas Eve, so I'm not expecting a lot of traffic to be
Now
there,
turn right to stay on Cord Terra Circle.
but definitely there'll be good amount of traffic to see how it works out. Again, I will be kind of cautious because there are some
Now turn left onto Tully Road.
exit and entry points where it gets a little bit dicey, at least with version 12, and we'll see how that works out. It is a little bit rainy too. It's not exactly raining right now. The speed control so far is pretty good. I know this camera setup is still not the best, but I'm not really putting my hands on the steering wheel, so you could see like the FSD is switched on. I'm a standard profile as well. So yeah, if I intervene, I will be saying that I intervened. And so far so good. You could see somewhere here, right? There's like a little bit of congestion. You'll see how that works out. It's really like 15-20 minutes drive to where we're going, so it's not that far away, but it has a significant distance that it needs to travel using the freeway, so we'll be seeing how that works out. The weather's really cloudy today. It might actually rain while we are going. If the FSD degrades, I'm going to take over. Probably gonna cut that part of the video where I'm going to take over, or maybe I just keep it. We'll see, depending on how much time I actually take over. The cars on the right side actually want to get in this lane. We'll see if we can actually, we'll be giving them space to get in, or how the car deals with that. Basically these two cars right here, they're waiting, they're not going ahead because they want to get in this lane. In my previous video we're following the same route, but this lane basically ends, so a lot of drivers are initially on that lane because going ahead we gotta turn right. But right here, let's see, okay, so two cars coming in from there. Drive is kind of aggressive there. Car does well. The one behind us basically came into the lane after us, so good decision making there. not too aggressive, I'd say, right? Letting the car come in front of us, but still showing that motion ahead. So, very much how a natural driver would do. This is very good speed in city with this amount of traffic. It's 40 and we're going around 34, 35. Measuring the distance between the car ahead, the car behind us, cars on the side. Very comfortable. No weird behavior on that sign turning yellow, the signal turning yellow. This car's, I don't know, it's kind of slowing down or what is it? Wow. Dealt well. No real trouble in those kind of situations for FSD. Even version 12 would be pretty good with that. Another thing that I kind of want to talk about is the phantom braking, which I did get with version 12. On signals, for example, when it's trying to accelerate, it suddenly do a phantom brake.
In 500 feet, turn right onto
But
Unified
with version
Way.
13 so far, this is just the second drive we're having with it, but haven't faced that kind of situation.
Now
You could
turn
see
right onto
like
Unified Way.
it's also raining very slightly. I don't know if FSD really gets affected by that amount of rain that much. Nice yield there. Nothing very different from
Now take the California 87 north
version
ramp
12.
on the left.
There's a signal right ahead for which you gotta stop. It's trying was a little bit confused for a second which lane it should go to, but I think it managed it pretty well. Okay, nicely done. Stop there for some seconds and then accelerating. Good acceleration, not scary at all. Very nice merge. It's nothing like that makes you uncomfortable in immediately going to like 60. The acceleration was smooth. Today it is pretty crowded, so I think it's a good time we actually came out for a drive. Speed limit is 65. We're going around 62, and for sure there are like tons of cars ahead of us, so I still want to kind of see how it does on the basics, where it kind of doesn't go too much closer to the car ahead of us. Right now it's kind of decelerating and still keeping that distance, which is good. On the camera it actually feels like the distance is actually quite a lot, but really it's not more than 2 cars in between the next car, so it's very, very good. I really like this. On turns it like slightly reduces its speed, even if that is by like 2 or 3. That's really good because that makes you feel like you're in control. So that's pretty good right there. Usually we come through the other route, the freeway very next to it, which has a little tricky entrance to the freeway. This one would go straight ahead, so that tricky merging is not there in this freeway, but the car chose the route by itself, so nothing I did there. Whatever it felt as the best option, it just took that. But we will have some lane changes before the exit, and there's like a little bit narrow curves too, so we'll see how it deals with those situations. Going on 72 right now. 65 is the speed limit. We do have space, we do have the left lane open too, but I really like this kind of driving. This is the type of driving I do. I wouldn't really accelerate a lot, wouldn't really go beyond 75 to be honest, and most of the times I would stay in this lane where I'm driving right now. The cars are slowing down ahead. The car ahead of us took the other lane. We'll see if we actually slow down to that pace or take like the left lane to overtake those cars. But again, in 1.8 miles, we got to take the exit. So we'll see what the car does here. And it is raining right now, and I'll see if it really requires me to take over. I mean, if it says the FSD is degraded, I'll be a little bit more cautious in that kind of situation. But so far, it hasn't asked for it. It's doing pretty good, at least in this amount of rain.
In 1 mile, keep right to take exit 9A onto Charcot Avenue toward North 1st Street.
Sooner or later it does have to change the lanes. It's 1 mile before which we'd probably need to change. There we go. One thing's there for sure, guys. I think the speed management that the car is doing, that is really good. So right here is a turn that requires you to kind of decelerate a little bit. We have a car right in left of us. Does it beautifully well. A lot of times, version 12
keep right to take exit 9A.
is like too fast in this situation, and then the steering kind of moves very abruptly immediately, right? But version 13 handles that pretty well. This is the other thing. Version 12 came here accelerating, and then it suddenly goes down to like 35 or something. Look at this speed management right here. Coming from 65 to 68,
in
it
1000
decelerates
turn left onto North
slowly,
1st Street.
very gradually, very much like how I would do it. So it's perfect in that sense. The speed management, I'm just loving the speed management by version 13. At least in this trip, I did not feel that it got very close to any of the cars ahead of us, even on the freeway, which was the case. Like that case was very frequent with version 12. So really amazing job at that. The lanes that it's choosing to actually, to get to its destination is also pretty good, and that's a little bit different than version 12. Version 12 would just kind of come in one of the lanes and later on try to go in whichever lane it needs to. But here, most of the times I'm seeing, even when we were exiting from our house, and from the very first signal when we turned left, it would immediately try to go to the right lane as in like the correct lane where it needs to. So on that part, it's doing pretty good too. So it goes into this lane now. just so that probably it can get past these cars, but I mean, it didn't really have to. Would expect it to change its, there we go. I was about to say that it should change its lane maybe later on, maybe earlier on than this particular signal, because we immediately have to turn right after that, and it does. It kind of accelerated there a little bit just to get ahead of the car, you know, right next to us, because that was almost going at the same speed as us, and was kind of blocking us to change lane. But great job there. I mean, such situations, to be honest, version 12 handled pretty well too. But again, there's a little bit difference in terms of the decision making that version 13 is doing, and you know, it doesn't really stutter a lot. I think I told that to you in the previous video also, but on that part it works really well. We did have a problem yesterday with the final destination. Basically, it turned right when the destination was on the left side, and the destination also had like a designated parking of its own, and I had to finally take over and take a U-turn and go there. We'll see this time though. It's pretty clear this time. It doesn't have to be, and version 12 never did that, to be honest. You know, version 12 after reaching to its destination would stop right there, but yeah, in the middle of the road, while version 13 always tries to find a spot, right? Even if it's in the middle of the road, it's try to go a little bit on the side and then try to stop. But even when I go to like my house, it doesn't really stop right in front of the house. It'll stop pretty much like before reaching the house, somewhere on the side. But this is a company, and we'll see
in 500
how
feet,
it enters,
turn right onto Innovation Drive.
where it stops, how much it really goes
turn
forward
right onto
after
Innovation
entering
Drive.
the building. So very nice deceleration here.
In 500 feet, turn left.
Right, so it got to turn left here.
Now turn left.
Right, doing that nicely.
Now your destination is on the left.
All right, so let's see here. Will it find a parking spot or no? Yeah, so that's it, guys. So it does reach the parking spot and then just stops right there. I was thinking, would it actually go and park itself? It doesn't do that. Maybe I have to change some settings there. Let me know if you guys think like I got to change a setting there or something. But so far this was a perfect drive, no interventions whatsoever. Freeway plus city drive. Little bit raining condition too. We'll be testing out more, we'll be coming across more kind of scenarios. Till then, stay tuned. Please like, share and subscribe if you haven't done already. I'll see you next time with another video. Till then, goodbye and cheers.